Once again live to discuss this breaking news concerning Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou, UFC versus boxing in the place to be, bars. Let's see who we have. Anthony Depp. Wow, fingers crossed for Anthony. Greetings to good people from Kiev. Anthony Deep, Kevin Moser. They fighting today. No, they're not fighting today. AJ just fought on the 23rd of December. They won't be fighting today. March 8th is the desired date. That's the targeted date, actually. Zanu Kurt, how come no boxing commentator mentioned that Deontay Wilder was fighting for the first time out of the U.S. and lost his first fight out of the country? Zanu that just shows you the bias in the narratives that are popular and what people choose to spread or what not they choose to spread. That's why. Okay. Rene Padilla. Kurt, salute. Remember that one live stream where I told you Eddie was trying to push the AJ versus Francis fight, and AJ said he didn't want it either. So what's the change? What's changed now? Rene or Dere, it's money. It's plata. It's that. That's what's happening. That's the difference. That's what's changing. You think AJ ain't crazy? You remember when they asked AJ when he was going to fight Jermaine Franklin, and they asked him what's his motivation, and he said it's money, right? Remember that? It's money. That ain't changed. You know, I didn't think he really cared to fight Jermaine Franklin either. But what got him in the ring? Money. 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 Bad. Tricky. Or Trekkie. Bad Trekkie. Can't wait to see the fight. Me neither. Kevin. Zanu because it wasn't the first time he fought outside the U.S. He fought in the U.K. before, and he fought in Mexico a few times as well. But he didn't lose. That's what he was saying, though. That's the difference. He did not lose. So that was the first time he went out of the U.S. and lost. That's the point. Not that he fought out of the U.S. Gabriella. Hi, Kurt. Here again. Loving the lives. Appreciate you, Gabriella. Welcome back. Great. Mr. Isaac, I have a strong feeling Usyk versus Fury does not happen because up till now, no promotions or undercard. Well, that is strange because that fight is next month. I think what has happened, the Day of Reckoning has had so much of a shock to the public that maybe they're forgetting to do what they said they were going to do. Maybe they're forgetting to promote it the way they should. You know, my advice to the Saudi Arabians that's putting on boxing, don't expect something to happen until it does. The projections are one thing, but the expectations should be totally different. Richard S. Yo, Kurt, is it all good? Is it good AJ takes this instead of waiting to see if Hrgovic versus for the IBF possible? Like, what are the chances AJ loses? Well, a puncher's chance that he loses. What if Francis Ngannou hits a lot harder than people think he does? And I think he hits pretty damn hard to put Tyson Fury down and put him on his bike for the next, what was it? How many rounds was it? Was it 12? Yeah, it was 12 rounds. I watched that fight again, bro. It was a lot of Tyson Fury using the ring, pot-shotting, trying to keep Ngannou off of him, backstepping, turning, avoiding, dipping, dodging, falling. It was a lot of that. And Francis was coming at him. And in like the later rounds, Francis, I like how he closed the show on Tyson Fury by putting them combinations together. And not all of them landed. See, here's the thing about perception. As long as you're moving your hands, the referees are seeing that you're making an effort, ring generalship wise, to win the fight. See, when don't get me wrong, he was scraping. He was making abrasions on Tyson Fury, but he wasn't catching Fury flush with those shots. He just bow, 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 bow. And he's accustomed to doing that because of the muscle memory that he had from MMA. He was catching Tyson Fury all up inside the head. Tyson was weary of that chin and that cranium, but he was getting chopped. He was getting caught with chopped shots. Those shots were doing more chopping and cutting than anything else. That's why you've seen Tyson Fury have abrasions here and here and here, because of the way those punches were landing. They weren't landing like that. They were landing like a chopping. They were scraping. Okay, so when you chop with shots, those cause breaks and abrasions. Okay, that's what causes those choppy ass punches, those George Foreman moves, those shots, those Joe Joyce punches. How do you think Joseph Parker's face got the way it was? It was because of the punches that Joe Joyce was landing. Not saying they don't hurt. What I'm saying is they weren't landing like these solid, proper punch placement type punches. They were choppy. They were landing how they land and however they land. But he was closing the show with these combinations. Okay. Yo, Kurt, is it all good? AJ takes this. Well, and to answer your question, Richard, I almost forgot to answer the question. I think that we'll see when it's all over, because see, Ergovic has to fight someone. Ergovic might be on that undercard. Ergovic may fight Zhang. If Wilder doesn't fight Zhang, and we'll talk about Wilder and Zhang in a minute, Ergovic and Zhang should get it on, because Ergovic is that guy, that one guy that sticks out in Zhang's resume that he has a reckoning with. Okay? Hope they do stay with the 8th, as I'm fighting the 9th and want to watch this. Alex Harris. Yeah, so that's the 8th is on a Friday. So we will see. AJ's the best, said Robert Badea. Christian Jason, 8th March 2024. Kurt, you are the only real one who's talking the truth. Ben 10. I hope not. But if I'm the only one, I'll take it. Renee Padilla, Benavidez still hasn't responded to Beterbiev. Listen, Beterbiev don't talk much. That's why I did the video. See, we have people that talk all the time. Give you an example. Adrian Broner says a lot. Keith Thurman says a lot. They talk a lot, right? A few others, Jaron Ennis and a lot of people just talk a lot. Even Gervonta Tank Davis. Yes, I said Gervonta Tank Davis. He talks a lot too. But if you rarely see me, I don't say or speak on everything that every boxer says about another boxer. I don't do that. For one, that's exhausting. For two, that they talk so much that you'll be doing that all day. You'll get tired of it. I don't want a channel necessarily like Ellie Setback. No disrespect to him, but I don't want a channel that always has 100% gossip. I want something that's actually said from a fighter, and that fighter actually means it. Saying all that to say this, Artur Beterbiev said, come to 175. I welcome you up here. Come see me. You think Beterbiev says that all the time? Beterbiev don't talk much at all. He's one of them dudes. He don't even watch boxing. A dude that will take your head off with sharp, nasty Joe Louis style hooks, because he throws quick, tight, sharp, powerful hooks and can knock you out with those mother suckers in a heartbeat. Just get mid-range or close to him and he'll show you. That's why Beterbiev is so dangerous. He can hit you in spots that you don't even think he's supposed to be hitting that hard with at that distance. And now he's saying, and he's telling David Benavidez, yo, why don't you come up here? I welcome you up here. And he don't really talk. That means, and that's saying a lot. People that don't talk a lot and they say something, it means something. And Beterbiev, I think he meant that. And I think Beterbiev knew it too. So he's kind of like, I don't know. Because see, Basically, this is how it works. You call out somebody, and if you want to fight that person, you call out. Then negotiations start. Then legally, you get your team, whoever your manager is, whoever your promoter is, or, in Al Heyman's case, the advisor. You get these guys, and they'll all be in conjunction. What they'll do is you'll tell your manager will tell the promoter will tell the advisor, and then all three of them will then reach out to the other side of the other fighter's management, promoter, team, okay? And then they can see how and where and who will be the A side, who will be putting up the money, where will the venue be, how much money will it be a fight purse, is it a mandatory? They will be doing things of that nature, okay, to get this fight done for those two. That's if they're serious. If they're just talking and they haven't even talked to their manager or promoter or advisor, they're just talking trash. That's all that means. They're just all cap at that point. And we see a lot of that too. So I think David is probably in between. Should I call Al? Should I call my manager? Do I really want to go to 175? Or should I wait for Canelo Alvarez at 168? The weight class that I'm considered by the legend, Mike Tyson, the Mexican monster. Right? That's where I think he's at. So, yeah, good call. Good call, Renee. Ask Skip. This is low-key duck, in my opinion. AJ should be fighting Ergovic or Zhang. Well, I think money talks and BS runs a marathon. That's what I think. Now, ask Skip. I will add to this in defense. I got to get to a super chat, but in defense of what you're saying, I do understand why you feel that way, because I absolutely agree. I think that AJ should stick to his guns. I think Eddie wanted that fight, especially after the performance Ngannou did with Tyson. See, understand, Eddie is strategic. Eddie is plentiful. His desire to make fights are promoted by the idea of ching ching. He knows that Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua will probably be one of the biggest fights of last year, especially, people, keep in mind, Deontay Wilder dropped the ball. So since Deontay Wilder dropped the ball, there's no Deontay Wilder AJ. You got to have somebody to fill that slot, because if you don't, then it's a void. Nobody wants a void in boxing. Nobody wants to look at, dang, we missed out, okay? So this is the replica. This is the replacement, okay? And it's the money grab. So, look, Tyson Fury made, what, $30 million to fight Francis Ngannou, to take a UFC upside-down ass whooping, right? Well, Eddie Hearn knows, well, let's get AJ in there, because AJ is now the rejuvenated star. So why shouldn't we get him in there? And if AJ does a better job than Tyson Fury, it'll be 2 in a row. What do I mean by that? Well, he just made Otto Wallin, once beaten Otto Wallin by Tyson Fury, quit, right? He just made him quit. So, right, that's one. So that's a comparison and a common opponent for Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Boom. Now the new kid on the block, I ain't gonna call him a kid, the new man in on the scene is Francis Ngannou. And Francis Ngannou showed Tyson Fury what's up. So if AJ can come in and show Francis Ngannou what's up, then we got another comparison now, don't we? Counterpunch. So now we have AJ have done a better job with the last two opponents that gave Tyson Fury trouble. He done it easily. So Eddie is thinking chess, not checkers, people. He knows more than likely Deontay, he's uncertain. We don't know where he's at mentally, killer instinct, ayahuasca. We don't know where he's at right now. But we know that AJ's back, right? So AJ's on top. So what's the best for AJ? Money. Okay? So he knows. Still, what's the fight to make, especially if Tyson Fury messes around and beats Alexander Usyk? If it goes the way he feels it's going to go, Tyson Fury AJ beats Francis. All AJ has to do is beat Francis. All Tyson has to do is beat Usyk. Then we got an AJ versus Fury fight in Wembley or in Saudi Arabia. More than likely Saudi Arabia because they're pulling up that ching-ching. Counterpunch. Let me go to this super chat. Shout out to Demon Shaw coming in with that super sticker. With that. Duh. Appreciate you, brother. Keep them coming. Luis Ortiz versus Dillian White. Ooh. You know something? Bremley. Bongo. Oh. Is that Banco? That should have been 5 years ago. That would have been a great fight 5 years ago, and I would have gave it to Ortiz. 5 years ago, Ortiz would have knocked out Dillian White with an uppercut, or Dillian White would have took out Ortiz with a left hook. Okay? That's how that would have been. So let me go back. Yeah, no promotion for Fury Usyk, but new Saudi card announced for March. Yeah, that's still going to happen, though. I think they're going to start overtime maybe next week. If we don't hear something from next week, we should start getting suspicious. I mean, come on, man. I mean, why are we not hearing promotions for the biggest fight or supposedly the biggest fight of the year? Because maybe Usyk and Tyson Fury ain't the biggest fight of the year. It may be the biggest fight accolades-wise, okay, but is it the biggest fight that we want to see? I don't know. I would have preferred AJ fighting Hrgovic, but against Francis will be a good fight too. Let's see what AJ can do to him because he clearly defeated Fury. Yinka, you know, there's going to be 10 rounds. I don't know. I'm wondering. This is what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if Tyson Fury is going to I'm wondering if Mike Tyson's going to train him again. Well, Mike Tyson would be, I'm going to be your trainer, Francis. I'm going to be your trainer. I'm going to train you, Francis. You hear me? We're going to take Joshua out. I know Joshua. I've been watching Joshua a long time. He doesn't like hooks to the head. And then what you did to Tyson Fury, you're going to knock this motherfucker out. Let's go, KT. SK Studio. Hrgovic has waited too long. The only fight he wants next is the championship fight. Well, I think that's the fight he should have if AJ don't fight him, because I don't see. And Filip Hrgovic's pretty good. I mean, he was able to survive and win a decision against Zhang, even though a lot of people don't think he won. You know, I just think Zhang ran out of gas. That's what I saw about Zhang. I didn't see Zhang necessarily lose. I just think he didn't have the energy to necessarily win. He couldn't move forward with what he had to go about doing. He just didn't have the energy for it. It's almost like, I know I can beat your ass. I know I can whoop you. I'm just tired right now. You lucky I'm out of breath, because I would have caught you with the shot that put you down on your ass, and I would have done that again, and you would have been out of here, but I just don't have the energy to. That's pretty much all that was. You say, you mean Abdul, pal. No, I mean Davis. Davis. You guys thought I was kidding, didn't you? There's no disrespect. See, I can't show respect to somebody that converted or claimed they converted that's still doing bullshit. I'm not going to do that, because, see, here's what you don't understand. Hamdulillah, okay? Hamdulillah. I understand a lot of Islamic words and what they mean. Inshallah, mashallah, hamdulillah, assalamu alaikum. I understand what it means. I look at Islam as a door or an entrance to God's kingdom. That's how I look at Islam. And it's very strict. And the religion is very strict. So once you join the religion of Islam, once you join that, okay, and you announce that, and you go with your representative and announce that, and then you go pull some bullshit right after that, I'm not going to respect that. I'm going to call bullshit on it. So guess what? Abdul will be called Abdul when he starts acting like Abdul. And I'm done with it. When he told Showbiz the adult, hey man, I still slap you though. And then he erased it like some bitch shit he always done. Gervonta Tank Davis always did the same thing. He said something foul, and then he even about Floyd or about Leonard or about somebody, and then he would erase it. You don't even want to stand on your word, but then you want to say foul words? You should have thought about that before you said it. No, I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. I don't buy that at all. I'm sorry. Brimley, I wish Macaulay can Joshua 9th round TKO after Ruiz 2 boxing lesson. I am wondering how that fight will go. I just don't see that fight being a fight that goes the distance because it's not meant to based on the styles of the two fighters. And if it did, it would be one of those fights that the best thing you could expect from that fight is an early knockout. Why? Because that spares the other fighter for another day of battle. If that fight between Francis Ngannou and Anthony Joshua goes 10 rounds and it's a competitive fight, that meant two hard-hitting black African dudes are going to be hitting each other back and forth. That means a lot of damage will be applied to both men. In that case, that means it lingers. You see these guys fight for 10 rounds. You know what I mean? That I don't want to listen. Don't get me wrong. I love to see action. I love to see it, but I do understand it comes with a price. That comes with a price. See, when you got guys like I watched David Tua fight Ike Barabucci, and I loved the fight, but I also understood those guys were never the same. David Tua never threw those many shots ever in another fight, and Ike Barabucci literally lost his gourd. He was off the chain after that, and a lot of people think that is from CTE. You know, and that's a big debate with Ike Barabucci. Ike Barabucci was the president. He had God first on his trunks. He didn't have any of those type of things with, oh, okay, well, hey, this is how it's going to go. He was talking about demons here and demons there and demons in the air conditioning and demons in the bed. I'm like, yo, the dude was, something was definitely wrong with him. And he was doing like acts of violence and stuff like that. And they had like, bro, he might have just been nuts. He might have been, but then there's no way of proving that based on the amount of damage that he took, him and David Tua, and he beat David Tua. He decision David Tua, but those type of fights, man, do something to you. You have to understand the Frazier-Ali saga. That fight is probably the reason why both of those guys are no longer here right now. Okay? Ali said, this is the closest near death you will ever be. That's crazy. I'm telling you. So, like, when you see fights like that, understand, first of all, don't steal fights. Second of all, once you see a fight like that, understand there's a lot of passion, but there's a lot of violence that's taking place, and you should respect it and understand it in its entirety. Like, yo, these guys are beating the shit out of each other, man. They're beating the shit out of each other. And yes, we're entertained. Okay, like we're the Roman public. Aren't you entertained? Yeah. But understand that's coming at a price of their own well-being, their own health. Did Charles Martin steal dangerous heavyweight fighter out top fighter? Charles Martin? Charles Martin, I mean, God bless him. I think he's done what he's going to do. He staggered the young prodigy, Big Baby Junior, or the other Big Baby, I should say. I won't call him Big Baby Junior. So, but who knows? Charles Martin may be one of those guys that go in there. I just don't understand his. I don't think he has ambition. And what I mean by that is, if I'm Charles Martin, and if I know I was the former IBF heavyweight champion of the world, I would be trying to become champion of the world, or I would be respecting myself as a former champion. I wouldn't be looking at highly of myself like Andy Ruiz did, because Andy really did. Okay. But I would at least understand, like, yo, I was once a heavyweight champion of the world from St. Louis. Okay. And I'll be trying to get something back, or I'll be trying to fight these guys. See, he wasn't even trying to fight Deontay Wilder. And my question was, why? Why weren't you trying to fight Deontay Wilder, Charles? I walk this earth like a guard, Martin. Okay. I don't understand why he, didn't want to fight him. I mean, I understand why he didn't back in the day, because AJ in Matchroom and Eddie, they offered this man $6 to $8 million. He could never get that fighting Wilder. You know what he'll get fighting Wilder? A visit to the canvas. And then leave broke. They couldn't match the price that AJ and company was offering. That's all. And in Wilder, I think he knew that. He ain't British at all. He should fight for Africa. Ike would have been a problem if he would have gotten into trouble. Yeah. But see, Ike started turning down fights. Ike started doing crazy stuff. Ike was just like, I'm the president. I am the president. I'm like, what's wrong with this? Don't call me the president. You know what I mean? And it was things that Ike was doing that was scaring people. That was like alarming people. Okay. Ike Barabucci was at a dinner party, and and back then they had formal invitations of how things work. You go to dinner and you're in a fancy restaurant. Then you got the fighter there along with the representatives of the fighter and the network's representatives. And, they're sitting there and they're trying to really air out a deal casually, okay, for Ike Barabucci. And Ike Barabucci had like a 2 or 3 fight deal at HBO that was on the table, literally on that table that they were fighting. And he was just like, I am the president, you know what I mean? And he was grabbing knives and he threw a knife, and it was like, dude, what's up with this dude? So then that was kind of like strike one. Like, yo, this dude is kind of crazy, So, and then it just got more extreme after that, So I don't know, you know what I mean? Let's go. AJ's confidence from being gonna have him gassed up, make him feel like Superman until Francis hits him and the Ruiz jelly legs come back. Ash Barr, counterpunch to you. I am interested to see what happens when Francis hits AJ. Everybody talked about what Tyson Fury went through. You don't know what Tyson Fury went through because you didn't get hit with the punch that Tyson Fury got hit with. Counterpunch. Now, I keep it fair, man. I don't sit here and be biased against people. I understand reality. And the reality was Tyson Fury got caught with a shot. Fury obviously got caught with a hard shot. This wasn't no bullshit or no farce or no setup or no dive. No, he got hit with a shot that made him look up at Francis. Francis was, he did that dance on him, And when he did the dance on him, Tyson had to get himself together. It's like, oh, what was that? You know what I mean? So he knew, like, oh man, wow. Deontay Wilder, eat your heart out. This dude hit me with a left hook. I hope Wilder and Zhang happens, or even Ruiz. There shouldn't be any light work for anyone in the top 15. There shouldn't. Black Cloud, you're absolutely positively right. Nobody should get a pass. That day of reckoning was good. People talk about that Otto Wylene AJ fight all they want to, but how many people picked Otto Wylene to beat AJ, upset him? Because they thought, okay, he ain't even to this level no more. So guess what? He's going to lose. How many people thought that? Like, let's be real. Don't be, oh, well, I already knew he was going to. No, you didn't. You didn't know anything. Then the same people that's saying that was the same people that said, you know what? AJ's going to get upset. Charles Martin versus Joseph Parker. I have to go with Joseph Parker simply because Charles Martin, when he starts getting pressured, he does this kind of uncomfortable, like he gets stiff. If you notice about Charles Martin, he gets stiff and his head is straight up in the air. And he has the tendency to go straight back when someone's charging him, when someone's advancing him, and he knows the pressure's on and he gets nervous. His head goes straight back like this. Just like with Adam Kalnacki. You remember the heavyweight Adam Kalnacki, the one that beat Jarrell Washington and Charles Martin, and he beat up quite a few people. But like when he was getting attacked, because Adam Kalnacki only knew attack. He didn't know defense at all, obviously, until somebody figured that out. Robert Linus is like, he doesn't know defense. So, all you got to do is keep him at the end of your jab and set up the right hand. And his ass was out of here. But before that, Adam Kalnacki was a force because what he did was he took his shots. It's just he threw so many and he landed and accumulated the punches that he had within his repertoire that he got you out of there. He just overwhelmed you with shots. Back, 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 back. He was almost like a fat, bigger, huge version of Charlie V or Z. Charlie Zelenoff. Remember him? He just starts welling. Hey, take the gloves. Take the gloves. Right? Yeah, I won. Adam Kalnacki was like that. Adam Kalnacki was exactly like that. Adam Kalnacki was the type of fighter that Adam Kalnacki would just came at you with what he had. You know, he set up the jab. Bah, bah. I mean, he had a better form. I'm exaggerating. But Adam Kalnacki definitely did not have defense. He had no head movement. He was just this guy that came right at you with his mouth hanging open like Jaime Munguia. Okay? That's how he looked. That's how he came at you. That was his approach. That was his attack. That was him all day. Okay? So, Frank Mancini, counterpunch to you. Where is Dillian White? Renee, I have no idea. He might be in Jamaica somewhere just chilling, you know? But, you know, Dillian White, he likes to indulge in, like, he likes to eat and stuff like that. Remember when he came over to the U.S., like in early 19? Because remember, he was going to be the replacement for Wilder. So it was Wilder, then Dillian White, then Luis Ortiz, then Jarrell Miller. Then after Jarrell Miller, you know, you had guys, you had Ruiz begging his ass off. Then you had Michael Hunter. Adam Kalnacki turned him down too. Remember that? So you had a lot of guys that were possible AJ opponents. Okay. But no, Dillian White was in the States. And Dillian White, he was eating pizza and all types of shit. Let me tell you something. This is what I've learned. Okay. Based on what people told me in the UK, correct me if I'm wrong. They say American food is a lot different than over there. They say, like, okay, fish and chips, but say a lot of food is pretty much bland. So I'm imagining food in the UK is kind of like food up north. It's not that great. You know, we don't like, I'm from the South, dude. It's everything spices. It's everything nices. We got spices. We got nices. We got peppers. We got onions. We got mushrooms. We got all types of stuff down here to make stuff taste good. Then we got a whole lot of calories, a whole lot of salt, and a whole lot of sugar. Right? But Dillian White came over here, was eating hot dogs and pizzas and stuff like that. And he got huge. He got big quick. Because I remember him in 18. He looked good when he fought Lucas Brown. You know what I mean? And he just knocked out Derek Chisora. if you guys can remember. He knocked out Derek Chisora in the 10th round of 18. Then 19, he came over and got fat. So he's probably somewhere getting fat. Yep, brought them belts then, forgot old men. Like AJ said, Miller should fight White, the battle of the cheetahs. Everything is spicy here in England, Kurt. Behave, lad. Okay. I said, correct me if I'm wrong. The food in the UK, we have fucking onions for fuck's sake. The food in the UK is banging, Kurt. You ain't got a clue. Okay. You know, what I've been told. I'm just saying. That's not the best place to eat, but I've never been there. So, you know, I'm just going on basically what I've been told. Okay. That's why I say things in advance. Happy New Year, brother. All the best from Birmingham. Counterpunch to you, Nico Slater. You need a home-cooked Sunday roast in you. Yes. My dad used to cook roast, man. They're off the chain. LZ Official coming in with that 5 pounds. Francis Ngannou and AJ style are quite similar, in my opinion. This will be the closest AJ will come to fighting himself. Well, I look at AJ fighting Ngannou is similar to AJ fighting Daniel Dubois. I just think Francis hits harder for some reason. He might not. You know, but one thing, this is the crazy thing about Francis. Francis has came in on an excelled, elevated level. He came in to challenge the biggest, the best, the most popular, the highest marquee valued fighters in boxing. And no one has done that except Conor McGregor. And Conor McGregor never came back after Floyd. Money Mayweather took his ass out in 10 rounds. Jarrell Grand Theft Auto Miller. I want Dubois versus Fabio Wardley. I don't think that fight's going to happen. Dubois ain't going to want to fight like that. UK food is terrible, Kurt. You have to go to a foreign food restaurant to find a herb or spice. Ash Bar. Tell that to people that got on my ass. I never been there. Ngannou could wear AJ out in clinches. Maybe. But one thing I can tell you about Francis Ngannou is going to come in shape if he's in shape. You know what I mean? Let's just hope the money that he's received hasn't turned him into an Andy Ruiz. Bars. I like Dillian White, but it's such a shame that he's inactive with such low punch resistance at this point. I think I think the spirit will always be there, but I just think he's more to a guy that has, you know, he has flaws, and I think one of his flaws or shortcomings is just punch resistance. You know, Xavier Williams. I like Dillian White, but it's such quality food is better in UK, but the portions are tiny in comparison. I think that's what it is. Because you remember when AJ came over here to Texas? I bet you that boy was eating steaks and ribeyes and barbecue and shit like that. You can see him sitting there eating with Derek James and Errol Spence and them talking about, yeah, this food's good. Right? So, Ngannou holds the current record for the hardest punches in the world. Okay. I don't dispute that, Snow. God of War. British food is like eating socks. Damn. Mikey No. Francis caught Tyson off balance round the back of the head. No, he didn't. I've seen that punch. That punch landed right here. It landed right here. That ain't in the back of the head. Back of the head is back here. Here. Even here. Okay, I can understand here. That was nowhere where that punch landed. That punch was here, bro. That punch was right here. I don't want to hear that. Mikey, I don't want to hear that. You can know that. Canelo is disappointing us real Mexican fans. Renee, Canelo's going to do what he wants. Yeah, chili con carne isn't a Texan dish, though, is it? It's Mexican, isn't it? Yeah, chili con carne. Yeah, that's like Tex-Mex is shit that so many people have became accustomed to. That like even burritos, burritos are like wraps now. You want a wrap? It's a burrito, dude. You know, come to London. We got all cultures of the world here. I believe that. Have bad bunny, had bad tummy for days when come states got to get used to all those coloring and chemicals. Bear, I believe you. Our food sucks as far as being good for you. It might taste good. Listen, when I go out, this is what I normally get. Okay. I go to a steakhouse or I get something that's cold blooded, like fish, alligator. Okay. That's what we get. Like, that's what I get. I'm a Louisianan, so I'm going to stick to something that I know that once lived. Okay. If it once lived, if it had parents, I want to eat that. Okay. Jarrell Miller, the type of guy to come into a 10-round boxing fight while being morbidly obese. And he was. Kurt, why ain't taking any questions from me? Moonshine _ Blade. I didn't know that you sent any. Now, see, if that would have been a question, I would have saw it. Don't ask a question with a question. Why would you answer my questions? I just seen that. Obviously, I didn't see it. When the current greats retire, do you think Danny Dubois will be the AJ of the next generation and probably a future champ? AJ. I think AJ will become a champion again at some point. I think things have to happen. I think Alexander Usyk, if he beats Tyson Fury, will retire. And when he retires, all the belts will go back to wherever. They'll go back home, waiting for somebody to claim them and to hold them again and to defend them like a badge of honor. That's how I look at that. I think when Alexander Usyk retires, I think then we will have everybody else to worry about. If he beats Tyson Fury, he will go down as one of the best Ukrainians ever. And unfortunately, I think Ukraine is in a building stage right now. So, but yeah, Alexander Usyk, yeah, he will go down as one of the best fighters ever. And I think he's old enough to retire comfortably, meaning he ain't retiring too early. Like people like Andre Ward, I feel he retired too early. And matter of fact, Andre Ward is like 38 now, or just turned 39. I think he was born in like 85 or 84. And he retired when 6-7 years ago. He retired too early. He should have at least tried to go to heavyweight to take on one of the big boys to see how he would have matched up. But I can tell you this: guys like Kovalev to put this man down with he put him down with a right hand. It was a right hand he put him down with. I think Andre Ward, I think, and he's in good health. Don't get me wrong. He's in good health and he's good and he's healthy and all that stuff. But Andre Ward, I think, retired too early for his own good. See, that Floyd Mayweather, I retire undefeated shit kind of gets old because, it's not really safe to do things that Floyd did because Floyd did things for money purposes. And when he got enough money, he did it for money and he did it for the idea of never been getting defeated. And he lived by that motto and he strategically ran from that motto or ran to situations to fulfill that motto, that narrative. Robert Guerrero, please. You know what I mean? Robert Guerrero was okay. Even Andre Berto, you had guys that were a lot better than that. You know what I mean? You had guys like Keith Thurman. You gonna pick Berto? So like Floyd knew what he was doing. And I think a lot of people looked at Floyd and looked up to Floyd and was like, you know what? I want to be like Floyd and I want to retire undefeated. But then you retiring undefeated doesn't mean that you had a fulfilled career just because you decided to retire undefeated. Maybe, just maybe, you're undefeated because you haven't fought the guy to defeat you or a guy to challenge you after you got defeated to get back in the ring with him to defeat him. You haven't, like, listen, until you really lost, you can't really claim to be anything more than a person that pick fights really well. And then here's the thing. The real challenge comes is when someone does beat you that can beat you or have the ability to beat you. I know upsets happen when you cherry pick, sure. But I think Floyd was surrounded by guys like Al Heyman and Leonard Ellerby and those guys like that that were smart enough to know, hey, we're going to put you in there with this fighter. Let's put you in there with a flat-footed Mexican fighter that I know you can box circles around. Those type of things. Those type of fights. You know what I mean? Like, so basically everybody from Canelo to Robert Guerrero to Victor Ortiz, all of these dudes had something in common. You know what I mean? They weren't on the pedigree of Floyd. Why didn't Floyd fight guys like Lara, guys like Keith Thurman, guys like Paul Williams, guys like Winky Wright? Why didn't he fight these dudes? He never fought any of those dudes. Because he knew the moment he gets in there with those type of dudes, he's going to look exactly how Errol Spence looked against Shawn Porter and other guys to that pedigree. Normal or ordinary. That's right. I don't care what he did when, I can't say I don't care what he did when he was younger. I know what he did when he was younger. When he did when he was younger, that's the true Floyd. The true Floyd wasn't money at all. The true Floyd, Money Mayweather, is no more or no better than the $1 Million Man. Okay? Ric Flair, the $1 Million Man. That's no difference. It was just a facade. You were fighting guys that you knew you could beat. And you protected that O because you know with that O, you can promote yourself even further. And he made more money after he retired to fight Conor McGregor because of the O. Which is ingenious. But he knew, I'm not going to fight a real boxer and get my ass whooped. Okay? See, Floyd got his real prize when he left. He got the Manny Pacquiao fight, which he became a multi-millionaire. Then he fought Conor McGregor 3 years later. 2 years later, I'm sorry. Right? Because they fought in 15. Kurt, Henrich Ruiz Cordoba is a very good heavyweight prospect from Cuba. Is he fighting in the States? Did he defect, or is he doing that Cuban professional shit? Ngannou holds no such record. Usyk will TKO Fury late. If Tyson Fury gasses out, his ass is mincemeat. So whatever we just seen him say he's doing on social media, on Instagram, he's in the mountains and he's doing this and doing that. I hope he's really doing that. And I hope he's doing that to help his incline, to help his endurance, to help his stamina. All those things are connected. And all of them have to be connected, and all of them have to be excelled because he has to condition himself to get in there with a guy that's herky and jerky, that's in and out, that's throwing punches and bunches, that has great defense, that has a good chin. The only thing that I can say, man, if you think that he's weak in the body, if he has the Keith Thurman body, go for the body. That's the only thing that I could advise Tyson Fury. Because that grabbing and holding, that shit ain't going to work for him. And he's going to find that out. Like, look, this guy here, he's too slippery for that shit. I'm not going to be able to grab him because Wilder, like he did Wilder, Mr. His arms are too long to be effective in the inside. So those hammer fists to be throwing and landing, like, that's not going to help him, at all. He was doing that. I seen that fight. I seen him fight Joseph Parker yesterday. And I'll tell you, no. Fury will be stripped of his titles and retire undefeated like the dog he is. I expect it. Has a suspect chin, and Ngannou hits like a mule. Mac Weed, we'll find out. If that fight gets made, and they're already talking about it's a done deal and it's going to be March 8th, we're going to see it. We're going to see if AJ can take a good punch. And here's the thing. And might I remind you guys of something? What's the danger of Wilder? His punch, right? Fine. We got him in there with somebody that can punch just as hard as, if not harder. I think Wileen beats Ngannou quite comfortably. No, well, maybe. Because Otto Wileen is a type of guy that if you don't pressure him, he's good. AJ getting slept, period. If he gets slept, you know who's going to laugh? Tyson Fury. I told you AJ was a Dalsa. I told you Francis Ngannou was a dangerous opponent. Nobody believed me. I took and I survived 10 rounds with the big Dalsa. He's a big bodybuilder. He's not human. Kurt, would you say AJ's chin is better than Wilder's? I say they got the same problem. Whatever happens in the AJ and Ngannou fight, I don't want to hear the lose broke his hand during the fight. Yes, no, yeah, like some people. Mr. Mark Madoff. Here we go again, hyping an exhibition match. Hey, look here. What happened in the fight that nobody asked to see? Francis Ngannou showed up and then he showed out too, didn't he? Fury schooled Vlad and White. AJ struggled with both. Scraw. Okay. If Ngannou beats AJ, I'll hold my hands up. I'll admit I don't know nothing about boxing. Well, that fight's going to be a good fight, though, man. Especially the way they fight. I expect AJ to respect his punching power. Because if he don't, this is going to be a firefight. Yep. AJ has a stronger chin than Wilder. Vlad Klitschko is one of the hardest punchers in boxing history. AJ stood up. Yeah, he did. Kurt, love your work coming from all the way from New Zealand. Superstar Mazza, appreciate you, brother. Has Wilder ever quit like AJ has? I don't think AJ's ever quit a fight. But if you're referring to the first Andy Ruiz fight, the referee stopped the fight. It wasn't AJ that stopped it. If AJ, if he wanted to stay down, he would have stayed down. Now, was he giving the stuff off in his body language that made you argue or think that he quit? Sure. Now, that's why I'm like, I know he didn't. Well, I mean, a lot of people will argue that AJ spit out his mouthpiece because he didn't want to fight. People spit out their mouthpiece because they want a break. People will spit out their mouthpiece when they want a break before they go down. Yeah, he spat out his mouth guard, but that's to breathe. When you spit your mouthpiece out, a lot of people spit their mouthpiece out and just sit there. And when you spit it out and you stay there for the 10 count, okay? You stay there for the 10 count. What happens at that point? That spitting out the guard mean that was your sign that you were going to stay there. But if you spit out your guard and you get up before the 10 count and you walk around and you take a beat and you pause and the referee puts it back, he's looking at the mouthpiece for you to put it back in because you're not going to do that. That's what Mike Tyson's problem was. When Mike Tyson got dropped by Buster Douglas, he's trying to find his mouthpiece. He should have just stood up. The referee would have got his mouthpiece. He was trying to find it. I need to find my mouthpiece because he should have just got his ass off the canvas. That's what it was. He was stumbling. He was on his all fours, but he was stumbling, looking for his mouthpiece, trying to put it in his mouth, trying to put it back in which he should have just got up. AJ was smart enough to spit that sucker out, then get up, because he knew they were either going to take him to the neutral corner or the referee had to put it back in his mouth. And the referee decided, nah, I'm going to stop this fight. That's all that was. Corrales versus Castillo. Exactly. Antonio Matthews, exactly. Castillo, look, Corrales did the same thing when Castillo dropped him twice back to back. He spit it out. And look, I think they took a point, or they were going to take a point. Tony Weeks was the referee, and he was like, look, you do that again, I'm gonna take a point. And I think he took a point. He took a point. Ruiz battered Ruiz. Come on now. How would a prime Mike do against Usyk? Ooh. Ouch. Man, I don't know if Usyk could keep Tyson off of him. I don't know if he could do that for that long. Kurt, do you think boxing organizations are mad because Saudi is giving us fights they don't want? They want? Yeah, but what are they going to do about it? They stay in close conjunction. They do. Mike Tyson is in his prime. You smash him. I don't see Usyk keeping Mike Tyson, a prime kid dynamite, off of him. I just don't see it. He's too fast. He's shorter. I just don't see that, man. I don't see him. I don't see him doing that to Mike. He's gonna get up under those shots. He's gonna throw ripping shots, and we've seen him when he fought Derek Chisora, and he can get hit. Yeah, he was dominant. I mean, Mike was so dominant in his prime that when he whooped everybody in the 80s, he whooped all of them in the 80s. He would have to frustrate Mike if he was going to beat him. Don King placed a huge bet on Douglas. Then he sent some sexy Japanese girls to Mike's room. So no, he could have done that. Yeah, take this cocaine, baby. Take it up there with you. You got Bobby Brown up there. Take him. You gonna do you gonna love him a long time. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna love him a long time. You're gonna love him all night, okay, baby? Put $5 million. Put $5 million on Buster. Kurt, is that a nasal vape or are you on? No. This is a vapor inhaler. He was just boy. LOL, scary dude. Usyk has no chance with prime Mike Tyson. I wouldn't argue that at all. I mean, because it's Mike, bro. Zhang kills Wilder. I want to see that fight now. Now let's talk about Wilder. Zhang. That's exactly, if you guys were here, okay, we got 300 of you guys in. Let's hit that like button. We don't even have 100 likes in here. Junto Coro. Yo, Kurt, I got AJ against Ngannou 6-round KO. If he knocks out Ngannou, it won't be the first time Ngannou's been knocked out now, is it? AJ could KO Ngannou in the first round. Did you get my email, Kurt? FTB. No, I didn't. Send it again. Zhang and Wilder are the same age range, so they should fight. Yeah, I'm with that. Kurt, your impressions are hilarious. Chase money. Counterpunch to you. Wilder versus Zhang. Your thoughts? Wilder has a better chance of knocking out Zhang than Joe Parker because Joe Parker knew what his plans were. Understand, don't mean that Wilder can't get knocked out by a right hook. Boom! Yeah, that right hook's coming. If AJ KOs Ngannou, it'll make Fury look worse. Yeah? It'll give him something to think about. He's beaten up everybody that he once had except for Wilder, but Wilder just got beat by Joseph Parker, so really he doesn't have anybody that nobody has beaten. Chisora beats Ali. Zhang can beat Fury 1, I reckon. Beat Fury, I reckon. I don't know. AJ is too game for Ngannou. Zhang is stationary, so Wilder could knock him out. Mr. Isaac, I agree. You know, he's not like Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is a guy that has footwork, movement. He's young. Zhang is a pretty solid, stationary fighter. Wilder could set that shit up and boom! Yeah. Then the first thing I'm going to say, Wilder's back. There you go. Then all the LDBC channels can go, right? Charlie Zioff beats AJ Kurt. Okay, Retro 1980. All right, thanks for getting the likes up to over 100. But no, I'm really like AJ, Francis Ngannou. Then we have Wilder and Zhang. And at this point, and I'm going to say this before I leave off of here, guys. You have, if Wilder gets on the undercard, once again, of AJ, if he's on the undercard of AJ and Ngannou, if all he talks about is still to this day AJ, there's a chance he might get knocked out because his mind is not where it's supposed to be. That's facts, people. His mind is not where it's supposed to be. If Wilder needs to be focused on the fighter that he has in front of him, I want to see Caballero versus Sanchez. That would be a very good fight. Caballero and Sanchez? Oh, yeah. All the heavyweights were similar in the 80s. Usyk plays with Tyson. AJ smashes Ngannou within 5 rounds. Kurt, that Don King impression was sounding like Eddie Murphy. That's how he sounds. All in America, baby. I want you girls. I want you. I want you girls to go on up there. I want you guys to take this white powder. I want you to do a whole bunch of it. I want y'all to do it all with them. Do a little bit so y'all can get crazy. Get crazy a little bit. Yeah. And then okay. Yeah. Freaky Deaky Sex Land. Mike Tyson and Bobby Brown went to Freaky Deaky Sex Land. Dude, Wilder won bronze. Let us the better men win. No prejudgment, just let their hands go. Kurt, greetings from Slovenia. Roman, counterpunch to you, brother. Rosie Mason, they are saying that Mark Madoff broke his arm into the Caballero fight. Well, I mean, if he broke it within that, what do you do? I mean, what can he do about it? He injured, he got whatever. He got beat. Ika Barabucci versus Lennox Lewis. That'll be fire. Pacquiao versus Bukal in Thailand. Your thoughts? No thoughts. No comment. Greetings to Slovenia and Melania. Okay. You know what? Melania. Oh, you mean Trump. I just grab him by the... Arizism, much love. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Where you been? Caballero has a similar problem to Parker. No big domestic audience, giving them little to offer in negotiations. Well, you just got to keep knocking people out. Some people are not meant to be just popular. Some people won't be popular. I only got a notification like 2 minutes ago. Dang, that's trippy. And you know why you got that notification 2 minutes ago? Because probably there was only there were under 100 likes. I think how YouTube works is YouTube they activate their algorithms by the amount of likes something gets. So let's say I get 200 likes. Like if the people that's on right now that didn't hit the like button hits the like button, I guarantee you the people on the chat will skyrocket simply because there will be more notifications sent out at that time. Okay, that's why. That's why that happens. You know, so when something spikes, you know, more than likely people are like, you know what I mean, all over the world, and you're like, dang, what happened? Kurt, the U.S. media extremely overrated Wilder. That's why they overrated Fury a lot. Well, they had to. If you overrate Wilder and Fury beat him, you have to overrate Fury based on your own logic, right? Zhang versus Dubois, Wilder versus Ruiz, and Ngannou versus... Wait. Zhang versus Dubois, Wilder versus Ruiz, AJ versus Ngannou, Hrgovic versus Sanchez, Beterbiev versus Smith. I think Smith KOs Beterbiev quick. Well, I don't know. I like Beterbiev, man. I think Beterbiev is a bad... I think he's one of those dudes that will probably... and I see, here's the thing. I think Bivol is a great boxer. He's very technical. He's a very busy fighter. He throws a lot of punches and bunches. You know, those shots, bop, 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 bop. You know, bop, 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 bop. And he comes at you, you know. Am I dead yet? What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. If Zhang could crack the Juggernaut's chin, Wilder's chin will be like glass. As soon as he gets touched, he's going down. But whoa, here's the thing. Who says that Zhang will touch Wilder? Mister. That's all Wilder does. Yeah, Beterbiev, I think Beterbiev hits way too hard for a light heavyweight. Way too hard for a light heavyweight. And because I think he hits so hard like that, I think at that point, okay, Zhang, look, here's Zhang. I think Beterbiev knocks out Bivol too. I think he has to knock out Bivol. Because if he can't knock out Bivol, he's not going to beat Bivol. I think that's every Beterbiev fight. I think if Beterbiev can't knock you out, he ain't going to beat you. Every fight, 19-0. No losses, no draws, 19 by knockout. His record is reflecting the fact that he knocks everybody out. What's his game plan? Knock you out, overpower you, find a way to win, get up under the trenches. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, he has skill. But his skill, they're like guerrilla tactics. They're like, what's the word? They're so pragmatic. My mate, Fab's trying to get on the next card. Kurt, it's 4 a.m. here. I'll catch the rest later in the day. Happy heterosexual. Okay. Happy heterosexual. Okay. I'm like, heterosexual. All right, man. Have a good day. The danger guy in heavyweight division is Frank Sanchez. Oh. Yeah, Frank, man. Franco. You know. Frank comes in. Zhang outweighed Joyce. He's huge. Too big for Wilder. Well, that doesn't mean Zhang will be able to move. Now, don't get me wrong. If Zhang hits Wilder, he's done. He's done. There, I've said it. If Zhang hits Wilder, he's finished. I'm sorry. He's finished. But Wilder, no. All Wilder needs to do is set up that jab, see where his front hand is going to be, and keep that front hand back, and then catch him with that right hand. Line it up. Goodbye, Kurt. Thanks for stream chatting all the things of boxing, from Tyson to the mean, lean grilling machine. Lions opinions, counterpunch to you. It was good talking to you guys. think AJ will do what Fury couldn't do and beat Ngannou easily. Well, that's just setting up a bigger fight for them. And it's also setting AJ up to be the A side. And that's going to make it difficult too. Because the more AJ does successfully, the more it will be on demand, or the argument will be created that AJ will be the A side once again and Tyson Fury will not be. So I think the best way they could make that fight would be on Arab TV. Bars. I like your takes, no bias, opinions. No, I mean, I just call it like I see it, man. I love boxing. I've loved boxing all my life. So when I see things and I'm interested to see what happens when certain things happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I really wish someone would get knocked out. So I've had moments of bias, but it hasn't been in this generation. Like, I was a huge Mike Tyson fan. I hated Lennox Lewis. I couldn't stand him. But I knew Lennox Lewis was a bad boy. You see what he did to David Tua? You see what he did to Mike Tyson? You see the war he was in with Vitaly Klitschko? So, yeah. Did I like Ricky Hatton? Ricky Hatton was okay. I think Ricky Hatton was overrated, though. I think he always was. And this is what happened. The guy that morally beat Floyd, which was who? Castillo. Castillo was knocked out by Ricky Hatton. See, what people don't understand, Ricky Hatton beat the guy that beat Floyd, okay? And Floyd fought Castillo twice. Ricky Hatton fought Castillo and knocked that boy out with a body shot. Then everybody said this: oh, Ricky is the hit man and he'll beat Floyd. So they fought, okay? Ricky and Floyd fought. This was after Floyd fought Oscar De La Hoya and he owed him a rematch. If you guys can remember, it was the 7th of May, 2007. He fought Oscar De La Hoya to a split decision win. Okay, he owed him a rematch and he didn't do it. He fought Ricky Hatton, which I thought that was kind of weird. I thought that he had to fight Oscar. No, he had 1 year to fight Oscar. The reason why Oscar is so bitter towards Floyd, Money Mayweather is just educating you guys, is because he was given a year to fight Oscar in a rematch because Oscar was the A side. Oscar was the Vladimir Klitschko and the Tyson Fury. Floyd was Tyson Fury in that situation, okay? And what he did, he fought Ricky Hatton, which was another undefeated fighter, fought Ricky Hatton, beat Ricky Hatton, knocked Ricky Hatton with a check hook, caught him, knocked him out, beautiful punch. Then he retired and did not give Oscar De La Hoya his just due, and he came back a year and a day because he had 365 days to fight Oscar De La Hoya, but he retired and waited the remaining part of the rest of that year and waited 1 day more so he didn't have to fight Oscar De La Hoya no more. That's what happened. Oscar De La Hoya ended up fighting Manny Pacquiao and getting retired because Manny Pacquiao beat the brakes off of him because he had to fight him at a catch weight of 145. Facts. Facts. I mean, Ricky Hatton was good. I mean, he was good until he wasn't. See, and this is what happened, unfortunately, for Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton fought the best fighters in his career at the very end of his career. He fought Floyd Mayweather, phenomenal fighter. Okay? Then he fought Manny Pacquiao, phenomenal fighter. He fought two of the best of the generation at the end of his career. And he thinks, and I think that took a toll on him because remember, he turned to drugs and he was depressed and you know what I mean? He was bad off. I mean, a guy like Ricky Hatton that did so much in his career. Ricky Hatton was the second coming in the UK, people. People just didn't understand it until he got knocked out. And he was knocked out twice. The hitman was a mark. It didn't matter who he ducked. He didn't duck Floyd, and he didn't duck Manny Pacquiao. And he got knocked out by both. Let them lose their money, Roman. They don't listen. You see Parker versus Dubois next. Who you got? Parker beats Dubois. He beats Dubois. He beats Dubois because he's too elusive for one. He's too elusive for Dubois. And if Jarrell Miller said what was true, and nobody said otherwise, okay, Dubois was going to fight Parker until Parker got the Wilder fight because Dubois didn't want to fight Parker because Parker moved too much. But then again, if you're Dubois and you're trying to rebuild, why would you then want? You just fought one of the most mobile, elusive guys in a division, which is Alexander Usyk. Why would you want to go back in there with a guy that's tricky? You know what I mean? You wouldn't want that. You want somebody that's going to come at you so you can set up your shots and beat him up. And that's what he did with Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Okay, so yeah, I think he didn't want that Joseph Parker fight, and Joseph Parker got the Wilder fight. So there you go. Cool. Everything worked out. Best boxing channel out there by far. Steven, appreciate your brother. Most must suck they can't buy immortality. Okay. Beating Miller means less than nothing. I swear these are getting small. Like, Ricky hadn't had the unique style of Toot Go Tanji In to give one. I don't know what that means. Kurt, do you think Wilder fights Zhang? If he doesn't fight Zhang, people are going to wonder where he really is mentally. But I think they're asking that anyway. So, it won't be the end of the world for him, but it won't look good. But then again, like, if he did take it, people would then, like, if he lost or whatever, you got to respect Wilder for taking the Zhang fight, bro. Because nobody now looks at Zhang as a cherry pick like they would have looked at him this time last year before he knocked out Joe Joyce. Facts. See, if Zhang would have beat Joshua and Joshua would have knocked out Zhang, Zhang would have been nobody in a cherry pick. People wouldn't even be looking at Zhang like that. And Joe Joyce would have still probably been clobbering people. Push, 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 push. Until they just... he would have still been beating people up if it wasn't for Zhang. Come on, Kurt. You were very biased towards Ortiz. You were only person saying he was avoided except for Wilder. He was avoided. You think Luis Ortiz wasn't avoided, bro? That's not being... Saying a person's being avoided does not mean you're biased for that person. If you see a person being avoided, they're just being avoided. Okay, why didn't Ortiz fight Dillian White? Why didn't Ortiz fight Anthony Joshua? They were both with Matchroom at one point. He was with Matchroom. Why did Eddie Hearn really get rid of Luis Ortiz when he had him? He had Luis Ortiz. He had Anthony Joshua. He had Dillian White, right? Didn't he have Derek Chisora too? I mean, he had a lot of people in his stable. He had Michael Hunter at once upon a time. Because they knew Ortiz, he was avoided, bro. That dude was avoided. And Wilder preached it because Wilder knew he was in there with him. And he did it again because he didn't really have no one else in there to really prove a point. So he might as well prove a point with the person that he'd been in there with before. And then he already knew, look. Wilder did to Ortiz like Fury did to Wilder. Fury knew, I'm going to fight Wilder again. Why? Because I know I can beat Wilder. Wilder felt the same way about Ortiz. You feel more comfortable with the guy you know you can beat versus the guy you never fought. The devil you know is a hell of a lot better than the devil you don't. Ask Kip. Ortiz turned down the AJ fight. To my knowledge, now this is what was told. Jim Jimenez, the manager of Luis Ortiz, and this is what I don't understand to this day. He said he released something on social media about Eddie Hearn lowballing them. And I think they offered him $4 or $5 million at the time. Because I remember when the news broke. Ortiz versus AJ. And then apparently Eddie Hearn got pissed off, which something he really doesn't hardly do, which I couldn't understand. Why did he selectively get that mad at Jay Jimenez? And Jay Jimenez admitted, like, okay, well, we dropped the ball. We shouldn't have said what we said. And I don't know why he said what he said. However, here's the rumor. I don't know how true this is, but the rumor was that Al Heyman had told Jim Jimenez that, look, you're not going to get Wilder in there with Ortiz. Ortiz ain't going nowhere near AJ because we're going to keep him on ice for Wilder. And that's exactly what happened. He ended up fighting Wilder again, and supposedly he made $7 million, which a lot of people don't believe that shit simply because Ortiz is always looking for money. He's always trying to fight somebody, you know? Juice ducked Ortiz when both were in with Matchroom. Well, you do know, though, when he fought Vladimir Klitschko, he owed Vladimir Klitschko a rematch. Ortiz was the WBA mandatory. But what happened, Scance Rants? Do you remember what happened? Do you remember what happened? See, you had the WBA, then you had the WBC. No, you had the IB. No, yeah. You had the WBA, then you had the WBC. See, Luis Ortiz failed twice. Twice was really, the second time was really a discrepancy because he was taking blood pressure medicine. He didn't want people to know he was taking. Dummy. Just, put it on the list. Eddie signed Ortiz to Matchroom to fight AJ and offered his biggest payday, and but Ortiz ducked AJ and fought David Allen for. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I never heard of that. But I know Ortiz was once with Matchroom. I do remember that. And for whatever reason, he was dropped. Why would you drop an undefeated fighter from your roster? So I question a lot of shit that went on both sides. Why would Jay Jimenez say what he said about an offer that Eddie Hearn offered them, but it was too low? Then he turns around and says, I dropped the ball. You know what I mean? But then Eddie's so mad that you can't go back to renegotiate. I didn't like that whole. I think it was a bunch of bullshit. But it was so easy or so eager to get Joshua in there back with Dillian White. I'm like, I don't want to see that shit again. We seen that in 2015. Okay. F the bogus $7 million. Why didn't Juice offer Ortiz $7 million with both signed with two Matchroom? Well, the $7 million was supposedly what Ortiz got in 2019. Okay, that's what he's supposed to got. When Luis Ortiz was with Matchroom, he wasn't going to get that offer because he was with Matchroom. And I think that was in 18. No. I know they offered Luis Ortiz to fight in 19. But when was Luis Ortiz with Matchroom? What was it, 17? Ortiz was offered $7 million and didn't take it, and that's not avoiding Ortiz. The $7 million was bogus, but the $50 million Wilder offered AJ was not your definition of a fanboy. Yeah, that's why Hearn signed Ortiz to keep him away from Juice. Now, I heard that rumor. That I won't say that's not true because I think Eddie knew the potential and he knew the danger of someone like Luis Ortiz. And I remember Dillian White said something that pissed me off, but a lot of people, well, that is kind of true. They claimed that, well, hey, Luis Ortiz wasn't as marketable because he didn't speak English. I didn't like that shit. But people unfortunately, that's true because they couldn't really market him like they can market AJ or Dillian White or someone that spoke the language. Kurt never reads my comments. I read that one. See, that's the stupidest shit ever. Gayanga, Pyrrhus or whatever. Ask if you're a Juice fluff boy. The $50 million was real. Only Juice fans claims it was the excuse of cowardice. You guys know let's say the $50 million was real, for the sake of argument. If the $50 million was real and AJ took it, That means he would have to void his contract with Sky Sports because they wanted him with the $50 million because he said he will fight him for. He would then have to tell Sky Sports that he signed a contract with, I'm going to Showtime and I'm going to fight on their network. He couldn't do that. So like then the next question would be, well, why the fuck did he say it? Well, Povetkin didn't speak English. They had no problem fighting him. That's true. That's true. And I hate what Wilder never fought Povetkin. So it was a lot of things never happened that should have happened. And if they would have happened, we probably wouldn't even have the landscape that we have now. You know, so he, like Joshua, I think he was just talking and running his mouth. But I want that. I want a t-shirt, please. Okay. Hit me up on Instagram. DeVille Kurt. Ask Skip at Scans Ranch, you offer the $50 million, no proof. $100 million that Wilder was real. I just wonder, like, if you're going to say 50, why not the 100? Kurt, prime Luis Ortiz would have destroyed Deontay Wilder. A prime Luis Ortiz would have destroyed Deontay Wilder, Dillian White, and Anthony Joshua. But understand, a prime Luis Ortiz was probably 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It was probably 15 years ago. A prime Luis Ortiz was probably 15 years ago. Because the best Luis Ortiz we probably had was in 2018. That Wilder fought, basically. You know, because Luis Ortiz used to be able to, he was a big husky dude. And he just now turned into an old husky man. He's at 25 years. It's ain't no telling. Like, let's say he's 53. So if he's 53, that means that 15 years, that puts him at what? 38. So, yeah, it might have been 20 years ago. Ortiz probably was Ortiz's worst problem. It wasn't his chin. It wasn't his chin. It wasn't his boxing ability. It wasn't his punching power. It wasn't anything. It was his age. The man was too old. Poor bastard. He was just too old. He don't move like Frank Sanchez. Frank Sanchez is a lot younger than guys like Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz is, you know, he's a guy that's waiting for you to give him something so he can throw the punches that he can still physically throw. He's no good. He's old. Yes, I was a fan of him. I'm a fan of a lot of Cuban fighters just because of where they come from and what they had to do to get to where they had to be. There wasn't like other fighters that had a country behind them that actually supported them. Because fucking Cuba sucks, okay? Because they're communists, and they don't believe in giving people their just due. They want to spread everything equally, but then they take a lion's share of the bullshit, which makes it contradicting to their government system, okay? So if the people that follow communism, you think that, oh, everybody gets the same thing. No, they don't. Everybody gets scrapes and scraps and shit that they supply by the government while they're eating shrimp, steaks, lobsters, and fucking caviar up in mountains somewhere. Okay, so I don't want to get political, but I'm saying if you're a Cuban boxer, you had to defect and leave your country. You had to leave your country, everything that you ever knew, the biggest country in the Caribbean. You had to leave that to go somewhere that you know nothing about, don't speak the language. You might have someone that speaks Spanish, but they don't speak your Spanish. You might have to go to Dominican Republic. So everything from que bola turns into que lo que. Spencer Farron said Ortiz sparred Lennox Lewis. Yes, he said he sparred Lennox Lewis on my podcast when I was interviewing him. He said that, and he was not joking. He was like, yeah, Lennox Lewis used to spar with Luis Ortiz. Have you seen AJ versus Zhang Olympic fight? I have not. I'll take a look at it, though. See, I read that one. Exactly, Kurt. These students shouldn't shouting for communism don't realize that. No, they don't. Because, see, in each system of how you govern, you have some type of flaw somewhere that's like, well, wait a minute. That's not cool because of this reason. AJ, won, but Zhang was doing okay. Okay, well, I think Zhang and AJ will be a good fight anyway. No, I'm not. I'm American. I've never been to Cuba. I have Cuban blood. I have Cuban people there. I've never been there. Maybe Ortiz sparred with Sonny Liston too. That means he had to spar with George Foreman. He looks kind of like George Foreman, actually. Maybe Ortiz sparred. I thought Ortiz would have been an Olympian, but he wasn't. No, maybe he was too busy trying to get the fuck out of there, besides going amateur forever. You know? I mean, a lot of people, everybody that you've seen in the last 20 years that defected had to do pretty much the same shit. Let me tell you guys a story about Erislandy Lara and Diego Rigondeaux. These cats, okay, if you guys don't know, Erislandy Lara was the head of the Olympic team. When in 2016, was it 16? When they went to Brazil, they got caught in Brazil and had to be shipped back to Cuba because they were trying to defect. They were trying to get the hell out of there. Ortiz was actually supposed to fight Sullivan for the Cut you guys a trip. Yeah, they got caught and they got shipped back, and then he defected again. They both did. So I don't know what happened to them when they got back to Cuba. Obviously, they wouldn't killed. You know what I mean? But they were trying to get the Hades out of there. They were trying to leave. You know, and he left a son, or I know he left one son over there. He left 2 kids over there. And the laws in Cuba follows. You have to stay gone, defected for 7 years before coming back as a citizen of another country, but you have to stay gone 7 years. 7! Better than 10, but 7 years you have to stay gone. Okay? AJ was gifted that gold. I keep hearing that. You know, I keep hearing he's still Olympic gold, though. And if he wasn't Olympic, he would have been silver like Joe Joyce was. That Jake Paul mockery of Tyson Fury was gold. Ortiz could have been 18 or 19 or 20 when he sparred Lennox Lewis, which would have made him 19 in 2021. Okay, he fought Wilder in 2019. That would have made him 37 or 38. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. But no. Because, see, based on when he's supposed to have been born, he's supposed to have been born in March of 79. So you're saying he could have been 18 or 19 or 20 when he sparred Lennox Lewis, which would make him 19 in 2021. No, he would have to be 21 in 2021 or 22, because I'm okay. Here's the thing: if Luis Ortiz, I'm 44. I'm a year older than Showbiz, so Showbiz is his birthday's before mine, so he'll be 44 this year. I'll be 45. Okay, I've been doing this shit a long time, since mid-30s, because I've been doing this for 8 years now. Counterpunch Boxing News has been around for 8 years. So that means I was 36 when I started the podcast. Okay, so that means that that Luis Ortiz is claiming to be my age. I seriously doubt it. So he had to be a lot older than that when he sparred Lennox Lewis. He had to be. He had to be at least. Because I got a brother, because I'm the youngest of my family. I got a brother that's 50. You know what I'm saying? So he probably was born in the early 70s. You know how you can catch people in a lie? That you start talking about stuff that they don't supposed to know about. They don't supposed to know about certain stuff. You know? Like, it was this guy that we used to hang around, and, you know, this was like 2009, 2010. This dude was like, dude, I was like 18, 19 in like 93, 94. I was like, gotcha, motherfucker. Because if you were that age, because I'm good with time, okay? If you were 18 and 19 and 94 and it's 2010, bro, that means they're 50 years old now. They're late 40s or 50. George Barker, besides the substantial payday, how would fighting Francis impact Joshua's legacy, especially if he loses? It wouldn't. If he lost, he would just be, he would be, now it is a gamble. Appreciate the love, but it's a gamble. And I'm going to tell you why it's a gamble. If AJ lost to Francis Ngannou, Francis' stock would rise, because the first thing everybody on that UFC side would say is, man, Francis came over to boxing, whooped Tyson Fury's ass and got robbed, and went in there and knocked out AJ in his very next fight. This dude he's fought twice and kicked 2 asses from the top boxing fan. That's bad for boxing. Screw AJ. It's bad for boxing. Absolutely not. We can't have that. Look. We can't have that. AJ better knock out Francis Ngannou, because now it's going to be just like you're going to have smart mouth, loud mouth guys like Chael Sonnen, and coming in, told you guys boxing is full of shit. Told you not really real sport. UFC guys, you kick, and kick and gravel and do all types of things. That's bullshit. Look at Tyson Fury's another bum. Here's another bum. Then you're going to have that type of stuff. Luis Ortiz and the old guy that beat the hell out of Rolly Romero were part of a Jack Johnson entourage. Man, listen, what's his name? I forget his name too. Barbosa or something like that. Men are now allowed to box women in the USA. What could possibly go wrong? At least Clarissa Shields will get her wish. Rosie Mason. Oh, well, this is how it works. They would have to have a full gender change, and they would have to have a certain amount of time where they had the change to make sure that their levels are not a certain, your levels, your pituitary gland right here, people, for a man, okay, it makes semen for your prostate, and then, and that's a reservoir for your jewels, okay? But that's what creates testosterone. However, it's just one thing that people you can never avoid. Your bone density. See, if you're a dickless man, okay, and you decided, fuck, don't need it, and then you become a woman or whatever, right? And you identify as a woman now. You still have bone density heavier than a woman, so it's still scary. So you're still hitting someone with man hands. I don't care how you look at yourself. You're still, you're still taking somebody to the face with man knuckles. You can't, listen, look at my hands. My hands are pretty big, okay? I'm a big dude. I'm 6'2", 240, 238, 239. I'm a big dude. I'm a heavyweight. If I decided tomorrow I identify as a woman, there is nothing can change the size of these hands, elbows, muscle, bone structure. There's nothing that I can do. And if I didn't have the surgery, I'm just a dude walking around with female clothes on, because mentally I'm a woman, right? So I'm a woman inside, but I'm still walking around in pituitary, everything is, I'm still going to the gym, and I'm benching, right? Let a chick mess with me. First thing they're going to say, dude, beat up on the chick. No. No. So, but no, they have rules set aside, and I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they're not that stupid. I mean, it is like, that's still dangerous. But, no. I don't, because see, I have a daughter that's 23. And the idea of knowing that a biological man fought her in a tournament and knocked her senseless would infuriate me. I would be pissed. And she's one of those, I support the next new thing. Oh, well, it's fair. Yeah, you're the idiot that thinks that. You know what I mean? You're the idiot that thinks that, right? Easiest underdog bet I've made. Legit, I'm robbing the bank with Ngannou by KO. Beyonce knows best. AJ ran from Michelin Man all night because he was scared of them, his pillow fists. I don't know about pillow fists. I never heard the Michelin Man. You talking about AJ, Andy Ruiz? Two of the biggest men in boxing right now. 2 units. AJ will probably stop Ngannou in about 8 or 9 rounds. Stop betting on Ngannou. AJ will win. Trust it. AJ becomes underrated because of a few bad outings. You all saw what happened with Clarissa Shields sparring that man. Well, it's going to be different than that, though. So that's a positive thing. Because I don't want to see women get hurt and beat up by men. I don't care how you think. I just see things the way they are. You mean to tell me I'm going to let someone, like... And you know, this is going on, though. I mean, this is the next thing. I think it's all a distraction for something else. But you see somebody. I was working on The Color Purple. And we were staying at this hotel. And I was catching my Uber to go to the studio. Now, here's the thing. Most bathrooms now don't have men and women in Atlanta. You know, they had an uproar in the Carolinas about this. And dude, I tell you, I had to use the bathroom. I was like, dude, I had to go real quick. So I went to the bathroom, and when I went to the bathroom, I tried to open the door, and it was locked. I was like, okay, it's somebody in there. I'm like, oh man, I gotta go. And dude, the door opened. It was this tall, but he was about that tall. Had a wig, hairy legs, and everything. Excuse me, right? I was like, oh snap. You know, walk by. Now, it's crazy. That person was a lot bigger. I'm 6'2". This person was at least 6'5". Then I'm thinking to myself, like, man, you know, if somebody that was woke seen that dude beat me up, first thing they'll say, man, Kirk got beat up by a big old woman. Man, that woman beat the hell out of him. You know, I can see AJ attending a P. Diddy party in the future or working as a catwalk model. Dang, really? I hope not. Come here, playboy. AJ, come here, playboy. P. Dad, I want to take you shopping. Shopping? Boy. We got them unisex toilets in the schools in the UK. It's all wrong. P. Diddy likes Kurt. I'm disappointed because of the things fight. How will it help Joshua get the world titles? It won't. It won't. That's a money grab fight, man. Just like it was for Tyson Fury. You know, so nobody can talk about, you know. And see, it goes back to Floyd. Floyd did a lot of stuff that then people talked about, but then later did. If you're going to talk about it, don't try to justify it later on when you talk so bad about it. Don't pull up the zone. You're out of the zone. Pay-per-view's dead. Obviously, it's not. You guys are pay-per-view now. Hypocrites. No one else beats Ruiz. Okay. Dubois versus Zhang. Ooh. That's Zhang all the way. Dubois versus Zhang. Now, Dubois could bow, 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 bow. Grab, lock up. But, dude, how much do you get to keep from a $10 super chat? Is there another way? Yeah, there is, like PayPal, but I'm going to start implementing the link and all that stuff. And I'm going to do that soon. Maybe from a $10 one, maybe 8 and some change, maybe like $8, maybe like $7.80, $7.90. They'll take like $2 from it. You know, but I mean, it's all, it's just, I mean, it's all profit, you know? So I look at like YouTube is a cool job because you don't see what they deduct. So it ain't like they're saying, we get this and then Kurt, you get that. It's not like that with YouTube. You'd have to look hard, I think, go on the statistics and stuff like that to find out how much that was. You know what I mean? But you won't see that. So, when you don't see it, it ain't like looking at a check and be like, okay, I've made $5,500 and yeah, you guys have took 1,700 out. You know what I'm saying? That leaves me with, oh God. you know? You guys took $2,000 from me. Yeah, that $2,000 you're gonna worry about because you're gonna wonder where the hell that 2,000 went. That's why I hate taxes. You're gonna pull a muscle jumping around like that, Big Kurt. No, I'm pretty um I'm not a guy that I used to be skinny, but I'm not a guy that got big or fat all of a sudden. You know what I mean? So, in other words, my legs and my ankles and my joints, thank God, are able to, you know, sustain me, sustain my movement. So I'm pretty limber and I'm pretty flexible, but that's due to conditioning and stretching. So for everybody that's 35 to 45, or even 45 to 55, okay, and then further, um, the more you stretch, the better you are. The more you stretch your Achilles tendon, you stretch your legs, your joints, everything. And you want to do it for a longer period of time because when you're stretching, you're also toning. Okay? So when you're stretching your muscles and you're stretching them, stretch them slow. Just, and then and it goes with breathing and you're able to breathe and you're able to do more, you know? Yeah. Ngannou makes Bomb Squad look skilled. Don't worry, you'll get 100,000 subs in March. Snow, let's speak it, believe it, achieve it. Bars. Yeah, let's go for it. That's what I'm looking forward to, man. Where am I at now? 84? 84 something. So, I don't have far. So 100,000 subs. I would love to get that plaque, put it on the wall. That would be dope. No, man, I want to see all those guys in the same room again. I want Jarrell Miller to get out and fight Otto Eileen. That'd be a good fight. Zhang is gonna banger Triple D. Kurt beats Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury's too small. If Tommy Fury, is it Tommy Fury? Yeah, it's Tommy Fury. Yeah, he's too small. I don't think I could beat Tyson. I just think Tyson's just too big for me. AJ couldn't hurt Franklin, yet you think he'll easily KO Ngannou? Oh, that's a good one. Kurt versus Hatman, make it happen. Kurt versus Hatman. Hatman is probably, I like guys like that. Let me tell you something. Guys around my stature are, and I don't mean stature like size. I mean stature like money wise. No. Like, let me fight someone that I shouldn't supposed to beat. I don't think Hatman being old means anything. See, someone like Hatman will knock you out. He'll knock you out. Someone like that. I don't want to fight no one old and dangerous. No, my legs are not like Wilder's. No. See, someone like Hatman will probably KO you because, see, the older you are, the less time you have to bounce around, and no, you're not doing that. You're gonna be setting up a shot to lay someone out because you don't have the stamina to play or to set up. No. You're gonna take your shot. You're gonna do it fast. Kurt versus YB. What's up, my dons? Cut the cut boxing. Nah, he's too small. He's little. Like, guys like that little, like, if we're talking about, like, YouTubers fighting each other, if you were going to have someone like Showbiz could fight someone like Blue Blood. Kurt versus Tyron Booth. That would make more sense because Tyron Booth is my height. And I think he's fat too. He's a fat dude. And so he's my size. So we're big dudes, okay? Not fat, but big dudes. And he used to box, so like I would fight him. But here's the problem. He ain't got no money. I don't want to fight nobody without no money. Kurt, would you have boxed one of the Paul brothers? Yeah, for some money. Kurt would push Tyron's wig back. I mean, Tyron, he has a little slick, awkward style. But I think I could get him. But then here's the thing: there's no money involved in fighting a guy that don't box no more. And then when he tried to come back, we seen what happened. So I mean, I was disappointed. He's been sitting on the couch drinking Echo Forbes too long. Tyron versus homeless man. Yeah, beat one of them up. Oh! I don't like when AJ fights nice and respectful guys. AJ only shows when he's pissed. Yeah, I think so too. I think AJ may be disarmed and get knocked out by Ngannou. Ngannou, yes, I like you too. Yes, I love Africa. Yes, we are African. Bing, bing. Joshua's hurt. Oh my God. Kurt versus Dean White. I'm not fighting Dean White. Dean White's my friend. And Dean White would probably destroy me. You guys seen Dean? Dean White's like this. Dean White's a big unit, bro. He's like that. When I look at Dean, he's like, he's about this big. I wouldn't want to get hit with a guy that's damn near 300 pounds. I know he's about 270. I know Dean White's about 270. Mike Tyson. Okay, fighting Mike Tyson. So you want me to get knocked out by a 57-year-old guy for what? Then we can't even hang out and smoke weed together. Maybe we could after that. I don't know. No, it'd have to be some money, bro. Francis is very strong. Yeah, see, somebody like Francis will knock you out. Kurt, love your channel. And as a person, and I'd be up for a match for 50K or anyone else I heard that. 50K, I don't know. Because you look at 50,000 and then like 50,000 like cash. You know what I mean? 50,000 cash wouldn't be too bad. But if you giving me a check for $50,000, I'm looking at you like, dude, I gotta pay taxes on this shit. So this ain't $50,000. 100,000 cash. If it's 100,000 cash, oh yeah. Man, what? Y'all get in there? Sure would. Why not? Be a big bash. Tony Lyons messing around and be like a Kratos. Hey, Kurt, here's 100,000. Glove up, motherfucker. Wait. Kurt versus Coogan. Now, that would be dope. I might can take Coogan. More than likely, yeah, I'd take Coogan. Yeah, 50,000 with this inflation, I'd only do cash. Yeah, that's true. Hatman back used to be a nightclub bouncer in South London back in the day. Yeah, I heard. I've heard his confessions of a nightclub series. How could we put it up on your channel? How could we put it? I mean, that's easy. I mean, just basically, this is what you would have to do. You would have to have a live feed, and it'd have to be from certain devices. So put it up on a live feed, set it up just like this, but set it up on a live feed. Have the put cameras, set up cameras. Oh yeah, that would be, you can do that easy. People do that all the time. You just put the right type of audio and video on it. Kurt versus Ellie Setback. See, Ellie Setback's too small. Y'all trying to make me look like a bully. Like Ellie Setback, Ring IQ. What's the Arab kid's name? Aki. All those guys are small. They're little. Meant we could put it on your channel. That's what I mean. Either you could film it. Or you could go live with it. With live would probably be better because live people could see it live, just like a pay-per-view or something. Yeah. I don't have a problem to donate a few dollars, but I do have a problem for PayPal sending my personal information to Google. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. It's all encrypted though. I mean, because I mean, even if you send it through PayPal, it's gonna know. Counterpunch, counterpunch boxing promotion. Oh yeah, 100 grand. Yeah, I mean, especially if it was something that I didn't have to pay taxes on. you know, if it's cash. Kurt Ika wants to come back to boxing. I heard that. Shout out to J. Roos Theory. He did the video. I've mentioned him mentioning that before, but honestly, I don't want to see Ike come back. His time is gone. That's been 25 years ago. We haven't seen him in over 20 years. He's done. Now, I can't say that he won't knock out and rattle a few skulls and beat a couple people, but, if you guys can remember, you guys remember Tony Ayala? Tony Ayala was from San Antonio, Texas, and he was like the number one contender to fight Sugar Ray Leonard, but then he ended up going to jail for sexual assault, and he went to jail for a long time. And then in jail, he had this breakthrough. They gave him some gloves, and he started like breaking heavyweights' ribs, and he was doing some numbers on fight. Anyway, long story short, he gets out of jail. And he starts beating up on people, starts knocking people out. He was on ESPN2 Friday Night Fights. And he was on there, and he fought a guy by the name of Yori Boy Campos. Yori Boy Campos has never lost 2 fights in a row. He had just lost a fight. So his ass was shit out of luck. He broke his hand fighting Yori Boy Campos, and Yori Boy Campos beat the dog shit out of him. Then he goes rapes another woman and goes back to jail. That's his story. Hatman hypes himself like he would consider truth or not opinions. St. Don, I can see AJ running for his life and get KO'd by the uppercut. Gualin would beat Ngannou, and Ngannou has no chance. Okay. If he lands it, Joker. Kurt versus Boxing Ego. Boxing Ego. I would fight Boxing Ego. Oh yeah. Because Boxing Ego he's not young, he's not small. I know he's tall. Yeah, I would box him. Yeah, I could go with, we could, yeah. I would hope there would be some money involved. I would hate to fight him for free, because you could always run into him and fight him for free. He's in the Bay Area. You know where to find him at some random fight. Kurt, who is the boxer most to look out for this year? Jaya Pataya. Don't worry, Kurt. 100,000 subs will be reached soon. Snow, I appreciate you, man. Kurt, who is the boxer that you okay, I already got that one. Jarrell Miller did it for the hood. He beat that boy. He beat him. I did this. I choked that boy for the whole hood. I did that for the whole hood down here. I did that for the whole hood. The whole hood was with me. Yeah, I hear you, bud. Frank Sanchez should have a breakout year. Frank is going to do numbers. He just needs to keep winning. He's going to be in his fight. DeVille versus Nesta Gibbs. Here's the thing. I have nothing against Ness. Like, me and Ness are cool. Like, I would probably have to be either got some type of beef or have some type of unresolved situation to even really want to fight someone, unless they're a boxer. You know what I mean? There you go. Boxer to look out for. I get Caballero. Kurt, would your interest song be 50 Cent? What up, gangster? That's what it would be. Fabio Warland may pick for the boxer this year. I don't know what that means. Fabio Wardley. DeVille would have been at 100K if Juice didn't lose to Usyk twice. A lot of things jumped off the bandwagon after Juice got punched up by a middleweight. Well, I think it was all about the character too. It was all how he took that shit. So And it wasn't really much. It wasn't really a lot of material that you can, you know what I mean? It wasn't really a lot that you could go. Like, there used to be a lot of material about a lot of boxers, and a lot of boxers just don't fight anymore. You know, either they're not doing shit or they're retired. You know, Kurt versus old Ike Barabucci. No way. No way. I ain't fighting old Ike, my friend, but he's got work to do before his name gets up there, and he knows this. Well, Fabio Ward, I mean, he's good. I've noticed on YouTube that the 80 to 100,000 barrier is hard to pass. Um, See, Kurt versus Bruce effing Vane. I would never fight Bruce. Bruce is my boy. I would never fight Showbiz. I never fight Bruce. Those are my guys. I don't want to fight them. I don't have anything against them. You know, they're friends of mine. Kurt versus Mark DeMori. Mark DeMori. I felt bad for Mark, man. I seen that fight. I was like, man, that dude shouldn't even been there, because he just got beat down. He got beat down. Sorry for bothering the live family. I ran out of gas with my daughter and it's raining. I have contacted everyone I know, even AAA and police, and no help. Can someone please help us? I have a gas can. Damn. Brian, where you at? Juice fans turned on Bruce Vane. I'm a fan of Bruce Vane. Ngannou wins by headbutt KO. Kurt versus Fanon. Fanon's too old. Fanon's old, bro. Fanon's like, he's in a different age bracket than me. I'm still a young man. Fanon's 50 something. I don't beat up no. See, that would be bad. First thing people say, man, Kurt beat up. Oh, you remember Fanon, that old bald head dude on the channel? I don't want to do that. You know, and then see, Fanon will probably do something to make you jump on him. I don't want to do that. I wouldn't. That's not, you know. And shoot, Fanon might have some hands. You know. All right, dude, I'm going to take you out. Stay back. Stay back, dude. Then you come up on him. You're like, oh, snap. Kurt versus Doug Joyce. Who's Doug Joyce? I don't know who these people are. Bruce Infant Vane is my G. I love his channel. Fanon got the one hitter quitter. He might. You better watch out. Fanon probably beat you up. Stay away from old guys. Kurt versus Aki TV. I'd like to see that. No, I wouldn't want to see that. Aki TV. Aki TV. Nah, I mean, he's too little. He's too small. Yo, you're in Arkansas. Oh, wow. Yeah, man. What part of Arkansas? You know, Arkansas is huge. Arkansas is like the size of 3 states in New England. Let's help Brian. Yeah, man. Moreton. Okay, where is that? Near Mall Mill, Little Rock, Hot Springs, Bradley, Fayetteville. Where? Where you at? Pumbaa Garcelle. Pumbaa Garcelle is my favorite YouTuber. I never heard of him. Kurt versus Savannah Marshall. Do you think you could take her? In what way? It's near Conway. Yeah, I know where Conway is, man. I did my first film in Conway. Yeah, that's up north of Little Rock, right? Kurt versus Dante's Boxing Nation. Now, I haven't heard from Dante since he tried to shut my channel down. And he, you know, they're known for that, you know. Them old heads got that old head strength. Yeah, you got to watch out, you know. Bumgardner. In what way? Rap battle, Kurt D versus Blue Blood Sports TV. Bars. Carlos Takam sparred Ngannou and fought AJ, and he says that Ngannou hits way harder. Well, I mean, hey, probably so. You know, the race baiter. You have to fight Peter Fury for Savannah. I bet. When the next live pay-per-view event. I don't know, man. I know Ortiz fights tonight. I don't think I'll go live for that. Sometimes I just like to watch fights and just chill, but probably Beterbiev versus Smith. That's going to be the next one. Beterbiev versus Smith. Kurt, just go whoop that fool, the YB, the one whose channel got took down for talking to underage. Oh, really? 78 Sports TV versus Kurt. Bumgardner should have been a model, not a boxer. Facts. She's like, ah! Yeah, man, you don't want to go live on every fight. Yeah, it looks like you mainly others are interested in seeing you fight. Again, your commentary keeps me excited between fights, which can be a long time. Travis, you got it, brother. You got it. 78 Sports has never seen a gym in his life. What happened to Billy C boxing? I have no idea. I don't know who that is. Can you beat John Fury in trash talk? Probably not. And see, someone like John Fury, you would have to hurt John to let him know, like, because he's a big, mean, high-strung dude. Kurt, Carlos Takam and Ngannou are countrymen, of course. He'll say Ngannou hits harder to give him that hype. Well, that's true, but, Carlos Takam has fought AJ, too. Yes. He hits harder than AJ, yes. Yes, he does. But Kurt versus Southpaws TV. I don't know who that is. People who think Frank beats AJ really don't realize how's over the hill Fury is. Only when a camera is on. YB got shut down? Oh, I don't know. What's up, my dons? That sucks if he did, but I mean, if he's doing stuff like that, he shouldn't. Great channel in chat. Freeze temp. Appreciate you, man. I think 78 would gas in 3 minutes. I got Kurt. AJ had Takam bleeding all over his face. Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Another money grab. These guys are in their mid-40s. I'd have Ngannou as the favorite over the current version of Wilder. They're not fighting, though. Yes, Kurt. Did you ever see that 2016 Francis and Carlos Takam had an exhibition and Francis could box perfect? He was doing a load of boxing in Africa. He always wanted to become a boxer. I believe that. I'm betting everything on Francis. Anybody remember Barbershop Fred? Shawn Porter slapped him for talking. Stewart, let me tell you something. We guys tell you a story before I jump off of here. First time I met Shawn Porter was in a place called Susua. Okay. And I was with my boys, and then my boy Shamard, he was like, man, that's Shawn Porter. And I was like, dang, it is Shawn. And we were at a place called Rumbas, right? It's this huge sports bar. I mean, TVs everywhere, huge. And he was walking through there. He was there with the dude looks like Bernie Mac, okay? So check this out, right? So I came up to Shawn. I was like, I'm not Shawn, I'm sorry. Up to Kenny. And I was like, hey, Kenny. He says, man, I'm Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch. He said, man, I know who you are. And he said, man, you really talk like that in real life. And he said, yeah, I remember you. You had the chat. You did the story of when I slapped Fred from Barbershop Conversations. And then we got to talking about that, man. And then after that, we started interviewing. We worked out together. We did a couple exclusive interviews. And it was cool. Kurt versus Mark Madoff. Nah, I think I'll pass. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool. Oh, Skrilla 50, you already know. all the time. What? You know, I'll probably end up probably staying in Puerto Plata, maybe Puerto Plata or Cabarete. You know, Cabarete is pretty like chill. You know, I met Shawn in a mall in Vegas. Dude was just walking around by himself. I mean, they're just regular people. They're not like on that Floyd status where you got to have somebody because you're afraid that someone wants what you got or you're that big of a target and all that stuff. No, you know, who blocked you ages ago? I love all Africans. I want to marry one. Kurt, YB blocked me. Why? I thought he didn't have a channel no more. Hey man, we got 200 likes in the building. I like this. I likes. Zhang, end of the road for Wilder. He better duck. Duck, you sucker. Kurt, I'm going the Floyd route. Going to drain to ass down to 160 and with rehydration clause. Then we get it in. Now I'm good. Kurt, you should go to Panama. It's highly underrated place. Oh, I heard. I have a good friend there called Ruben Blades or Blades. Hey, dude, I like your jersey. It's just a shirt. Just a shirt. Kurt, we went back to his old channel, but I'm sure that will be took down soon. That sucks. Did he block you for calling him a nonce who works for Goldman Sachs? Cy from Hamilton, New Zealand. Okay. Kurt, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi should just joint forces team up and become one superstate. Nope, they should not. They should not. I went to Panama last year. It was underrated. I've never seen too many beautiful women in the gym in my life. Even the old ones look down. Yeah, well, I mean, when you leave the states, people's perception of life changes because they know it ain't all about eating and sitting on your ass. You know what I mean? So even when I lived in Brazil, I found that out real quick. Most people in the morning, they're doing some type of physical routine before they do anything. You know what I mean? So it's not all about, hey, let me climb out of bed, get in the shower, go to work, get off, eat, or, you know what I mean? It's not that. It's like, let me get up, let me exercise, let me go to the park, let me take a jog, let me go to the gym. You know what I mean? Let me aerobicize, let me stretch, let me do something for me physically. You know what I mean? And then, oh, let me eat some bread, let me drink some coffee. You know what I mean? Let me have a McMuffin or whatever it is. So yeah, so the chicks out of the country stay in better shape because they take better care of themselves. On top of the food is also better for you. So the food we eat is bullshit here because it makes us tired. It makes us not want to do shit. You know what I mean? It makes us sluggish and slow and fat with all type of preservatives. But then you go somewhere else and then you may eat a steak in Panama or wherever. And then you notice like, okay, I don't feel as bloated. I feel full, but I don't feel as bloated as I do. Well, man, I just want to go home and go to sleep. That type of shit. And honestly, when you do eat something that heavy, the last thing you want to do is go home and go to sleep. The first thing you should do is walk, is let your food digest and walk off and let your food digest. Okay. Not go to sleep on it. That's stupid. Car game is real in Panama City too. I was in the financial district. Luxury cars are everywhere. I want to build a fight with Kurt where both will smile to the bank in England, UK. I heard that. Ngannou is the best. All Africans need only an opportunity. Of him, an example for the world. Francis, I marry you. Like, damn. Okay, Scans Ranch, you into cars? Okay. You guys are chopping it up. All right. So Francis refused Kim Kardashian. Well, that's good for him. You don't want to get his life ruined. Hey, brother. Top tier content as always. Appreciate you. Pro Drees. Kurt, you have a lot of friends all around the world and you have a great fam here. Great. It's only onwards and upwards from now. Counterpunch News is going to be the biggest, if not the biggest, on YouTube. Appreciate you, brother. I love the enthusiasm. The godfather of boxing is back and here to stay. I went for 5 days, flight and hotel, around $700 for the money. I'd go back. Oh, that's good. Dope. But, guys, I've been here 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm going to jump off of here. I'm going to make a couple videos that I needed to get out. But AJ versus Ngannou is a done deal. So we will see who and where and how these guys get it on. Shout out to Turkey. Cal states that His Excellency is putting these fights together because he's giving them an offer you can't refuse. So that's what he's doing, man. And they're taking that shit. Money talks, everything else walks. So I'm serious, Kurt, but but I'm in England. I love you, brother. Let's have it. I walk 78 kilograms. Okay. That's big. But guys, I will see you on the next one. Everybody's been counterpunched. God bless. And everyone has been counterpunched. Peace!